Hey everyone, welcome back to Script Andy. Today we're talking about one of the strangest, most controversial games of this past decade, Cruelty Squad. If you've ever played it, you know that it's an experience like no other. But something interesting happened with Cruelty Squad. Thanks to a 5-hour video essay by the popular YouTuber Pyrocynical, this niche dystopian FPS has become known as the Pyrocynical game, almost more associated with him than its original creators. So, how did Pyrocynical's deep dive completely change Cruelty Squad's reputation, and why has the game now become intertwined with his name for all time? Let's dive right in. Cruelty Squad is a visually and mechanically chaotic game developed by Finnish indie creator Ville Kallio. Released in 2021, it's a brutal first-person shooter with intense, grotesque imagery and a dark, satirical take on corporate dystopia. It feels like a mix between an absurdist nightmare and a bizarre critique of capitalism. The game garnered a cult following for its unique and often disturbing art direction, but its initial reception was as divided as you might expect from a game this unconventional. That all changed when Pyrocynical, a YouTuber with millions of subscribers, dropped a 5-hour video essay breaking down everything about Cruelty Squad. Now, this wasn't just a quick review or reaction. It was a comprehensive analysis of the game's themes, mechanics, and its place in the wider world of gaming and internet culture. And that video? It didn't just increase awareness of Cruelty Squad, it defined it for a new audience. For those unfamiliar, Pyrocynical is known for his long-form content, diving deep into games, movies, and internet phenomena. With his distinct mix of humor and an in-depth commentaries, Pyro has a dedicated fanbase that eagerly consumes his content, no matter how long it is. His 5-hour video on Cruelty Squad was a marathon of analysis, examining everything from the game's obscure mechanics to its grotesque visual design and underlying social commentary. By producing such a massive piece of content based around this indie game, Pyrocynical introduced Cruelty Squad to a much wider audience. His fanbase, many of whom had never previously heard of or played the game, started to associate it with Pyro himself. This is the kind of influence that large YouTubers can have over niche content. Pyrocynical's 5-hour video wasn't just a review. It became the lens through which many new players viewed the game. What's particularly fascinating is just how quickly Cruelty Squad became associated with Pyrocynical's name after posting the video essay. For many people, the game is now known not for its original artistic intentions, or even for its developer Ville Kallio, but as the Pyrocynical game. It's become a kind of running joke in online gaming communities that Pyrocynical has claimed the game, rendering it inseparable from his massive video. This shift in perception is very significant. Before Pyrocynical's video, Cruelty Squad was a weird, unsettling indie game with a niche but loyal audience. Afterward, it became a viral talking point, where the game itself almost took a backseat to the narrative of Pyrocynical's analysis. In gaming communities, it's now almost impossible to bring up Cruelty Squad without referencing Pyro's video. The game and the video are now intertwined in a way that's pretty rare to see. One of the lasting effects of Pyrocynical's video essay is that he didn't just critique the game. He turned it into a meme, a piece of internet culture. Players now joke about Cruelty Squad being Pyrocynical's game, creating a legacy where the boundaries between the critic and the content blur. The result is that Pyrocynical's interpretation has overshadowed most other takes on the game. It's become his version of the game that many players now experience, whether they agree with it or not. This raises a very interesting question. Can a piece of media, especially a game as unique as Cruelty Squad, ever fully stand on its own once a major influencer has dissected it so thoroughly? For many, Pyrocynical's interpretation has become the definitive take on the game, shaping how it's played, discussed, and remembered. The cultural impact of Pyrocynical's video cannot be overstated. Beyond just increasing the game's overall visibility, he's managed to shape its reputation for the foreseeable future. The game is now often referred to as the Pyrocynical game in memes, forums, and discussions. While other reviewers and players have their own interpretations of the game, the size and scope of Pyrocynical's essay mean that it will likely remain the dominant lens through which new players encounter the game. And it's not just about the game anymore. It's about Pyrocynical's ownership of it in the public eye. For better or for worse, his 5-hour essay has rewritten the narrative around Cruelty Squad. The game's original intentions are now viewed through the filter of Pyrocynical's analysis, with his humor, insights, and cultural references shaping how we experience the game. This is a clear example of how influencers can alter the legacy of niche games, transforming them into cultural touchstones of their own making. In conclusion, Pyrocynical didn't just review Cruelty Squad, he redefined it. His 5-hour video essay catapulted the game from niche indie weirdness into the spotlight, but it also intertwined the game's legacy with his own name. Now, whenever Cruelty Squad is brought up, so is Pyrocynical, and that association may just last forever. The game may have been created by Vili Kallio, but in the minds of many, it's the Pyrocynical game. What do you think? Did Pyrocynical's video essay forever alter the reputation of Cruelty Squad, or do you think the game can still stand on its own? Let us know in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell button for more deep dives into gaming culture. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the critic shapes the game more than the game itself. Oh, and if you haven't played Cruelty Squad just yet, do give it a try. Whether you're a fan of Pyrocynical, or you just want to experience the game for yourself, it's definitely one of the most, how do I put it, unique video games you'll ever get to play. Goodbye.